This section of spray rail on an older wooden boat has suffered some rot deterioration. The first step is to remove the metal trim, then dig out any loose or damaged wood fibers until I'm back to solid wood. I use a wood chisel at a low angle, which works very well for shaving away soft, wet wood. If the wood feels spongy, it needs to be removed and also gives the epoxy a stronger bonding surface. Once most of the deteriorated wood is removed, I switch to a heat gun to dry the area. I keep the heat moving to avoid burning the wood. Ideally, the moisture content should be below 12% before applying epoxy. We will be rebuilding this section with thickened epoxy. Because of the size of the area, I'm going to build a temporary mold to contain the epoxy. I used a piece of plywood for the mold surface and wrapped the side that will be against the epoxy in clear packaging tape. The epoxy won't bond to the packaging tape, so it will be easy to remove once the epoxy is cured. I duct tape the plywood to the spray rail and use the duct tape to seal the gap at the bottom to prevent the epoxy from running out. For this repair, I'm using the West System Wood Rot Repair Kit. The solvent-free epoxy has a low viscosity, allowing it to soak deeply into the deteriorated wood and stabilize the area. It also has a little more flexibility to it than the 105 system, which will make it ideal for repairing this large deteriorated section. This flexibility allows the epoxy to move with the expansion and contraction of the wood, making it less prone to cracking, which is especially important as the damage is running parallel to the grain. I brush on a generous coat of epoxy. I use the bristles to work the epoxy into the uneven surface, making sure the entire area is well covered. I leave the epoxy standing on the surface so it can continue penetrating into the wood. You'll notice there's a pool of epoxy in the bottom of the mold. I try to keep this to a ½ inch deep to prevent the epoxy from getting too hot. I give the epoxy about 15 minutes to absorb, then coat the surface again. After the second coat, the wood stopped absorbing the epoxy, indicating the wood fibers were fully saturated. With the rot consolidated, I can rebuild this missing area with thickened epoxy. Wood Rot Repair Epoxy is compatible with the West System line of fillers. For this project, I choose to add the 407 low density filler to my epoxy because once it's cured, it would be easy to shape to match the profile of the spray rail. I waited until the epoxy reached the tacky stage similar to the adhesive on masking tape and mixed a fresh batch of epoxy thickened with 407 low density filler. I only added enough filler to create a ketchup-like consistency. The epoxy needed to be fluid enough to flow into all the contours and to not trap air pockets. Because of the size of this void, I poured the area in 2 applications. The epoxy can be poured to up to ½ inch thick before having to worry about issues with overheating. I waited 3 hours till the epoxy cured to a soft rubber stage. Then I poured the second pour. The following day I could remove the temporary mold. I washed the top of the repair to remove amine blush, as the mold surfaces prevent amine blush from forming. A Scotch-Brite pad and water should be used to remove any amine blush since the blush is water soluble. After drying the area with paper towels, I sanded the area with 80 grit aluminum oxide sandpaper on a sanding block until the repair matched the original shape. At this point, the repair is ready to be painted to match the rest of the boat.